started the church, or the oldest one, I should say. I think we got a picture here with a little silver spade, turning dirt on the building when it was started here. And he was also the first funeral that the church had there. But that was kind of the way it started. And then it went around, we had one minister, I think is Robert Larson. We'd had student ministers come in for 2 months, 3 months, or something like that, so we had quite a procession through those earlier years. And as we started this church, there wasn't just a lot of members. I think I remember when they hit 40, that was a tremendous head count. But anyway, this is Reverend Larson. He had come up here from Texas. And the biggest pastime down there was playing horseshoes. And so we all had to learn how to play horseshoes. And at that time, I was raised on just west of Temple Park, the first farm there. And so we had to put up a horseshoe court there. And I remember one Sunday there, they would come out about once a month and have a potluck out there. There'd be 20, 30 people or something like that. And that one day he said, how many of you people got your dinners in the oven? He said, I think we'll make a suggestion. You pick them up and bring them out to Lars Danny's place, and we'll have a horseshoe tournament there, and we'll have a potluck. So he invited everybody out to the farm, which was fine and dandy. But that was, I think Jim pretty well covered everything there, all the rest of the buildings and things like that. But that was kind of the original start. Was my grandmother, she couldn't hear very well, and she could understand the Danish just a little bit better, so they started down there, and then it gradually came up here and went from, I think, house to house for a little while, then a lodge hall, and with that being a stairway, it was kind of an obstacle for a lot of the people. And then they started making a routine, kind of banned the gypsy school from one place to the next there. Any questions on anything that I should have said to go, Bill? But,
You didn't say exactly how your grandmother said about the stairwell. It was a little more than, you know.
We talked this over a little bit before, and she probably remembers better than I do what I said.
Those stairs were outside too, they weren't inside.
Yes, they were the outside. That was the only way into the building, was going up the back
Bad
wall.
weather, you were really
That was a lot of steps,
doubly bad.
but that was kind of the roots to the start.
Hurry up, Dale.
Where's
Yeah, come on.
Kim? I know you got stories to share, and you have to, we'll let Dale go, but
Oh my God.
Dale keeps getting shoved to the side.
It's really nice to see all these faces today. Very impressive turnout. And one of my jobs this morning, when everyone was coming into church, was counting heads. And you should have seen the look on Pat's face when I stepped out of the narthex and gave her in sign language how many people were here. But it all worked out. We had enough and everything was fine.
We're Lutherans. Plenty.
I grew up in Storm Lake, and my older sister, in the summer of 1967 and 68, was a counselor at the camp out in Millers Bay. And after the first year, she came home in August, and she was all excited. Did you know that there's a church in Spirit Lake that has Saturday night church? And we don't sing out of the hymnal. We sing these real cool songs, and somebody plays a guitar. And so apparently this church was a front runner in the Saturday night service sort of thing, which is the standard today, I believe. And but we'd all have to remember Bob Berquist, Saturday night only counts half.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I was gonna attempt to get out of here without talking, but I couldn't do it.
Never happened, never happened.
I can't do it.
Surprise, surprise,
And I'm much younger
surprise.
than Jim, so I can't talk about when the building was built. But I can tell you, I've been blessed to work in churches and with a lot of folks. And I recently did a confirmation lesson in Primgar with my students, and we talked about remember where you came from. And I was so blessed. I don't know how God put me here, but this family here at Grace Lutheran in Spirit Lake is phenomenal. We've had some of our best laughs. We did skits. Pastor Jim, I remember we did a contest one time, if you remember this. It was a calf calling or a calf bawling contest where you showed the calf. And I believe you won. Shot. You were finally something you were good at. It wasn't bad yet. But we had some great laughs, and Beverly, some of the best choral things we ever did was so fun. And I remember being with the cantatas and many of those things, so many folks around here. But I look around here, and you guys are family to us. I mean, I see so many familiar faces where you mean so much to us, and we carry that with us. And it really makes a difference. No matter where we go in life, if you remember where you came from and who's important to you, that's what it's all about for us. But we've had some of our best laughs here, and some of our biggest tears were here. And so we just feel very blessed to be part of this family. And it's so awesome to come back and just see all of you and say thank you for really pushing us into the world with the kind of love that you do. So just thanks a bunch.
I've got one short one. Just after I was confirmed, we had a... Okay.
That mic works too. And
Don, this one.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yep.
Okay. Probably just a year or so after I was confirmed, Bob Berquist was a leader in a group that had, well, us young ones plus anybody who wanted to come in, any adults that wanted to come in. Well, we took offering each week, and maybe a quarter or 50 cents if we got a bunch, you know, and all the way around. And there was a lady that was a member that did, she grew up in Boston, and she married a fellow from this area, and she was there that day, and a fellow from Cedar Rapids had heard about it, and he just come in and sat down. When we took their offering, he had a $5 bill, and he went to put this $5 bill in the offering, and she goes, "Oh my God, man, you don't want to put that all in there." Just waiting after the service. We'll get you some change. Kim mentioned the cantatas. I didn't take music or have music through school at all, and didn't know that if you're singing and then one of these cantatas or something, you're standing there a long time, you gotta move your legs a little bit. So we'd sing we'd go about halfway through, and then we'd rest with, and they'd take offering. And so when we sat down off the risers, my legs had gone to sleep. And I went bangity bang. Lucky it didn't hurt anybody. Boy, sure was embarrassing. A week later, one of the guys says to me, he said, "How'd you feel when you were down there?" And I said, "Like an idiot."
Kenny, you want this one or that one? I'll take that one. Okay.
Gary, you might have to slide up just for, can you make it up here, Kenny?
Okay.
Before I start, I gotta tell you about Jim Ladegard.
uh-oh.
I was at a meeting with him one time, and he got some kind of recognition. And he got up and he said, "I haven't been so moved since my mother gave me a quart of prune juice." Remember that, Jim?
That's true, that's true. It was X-Lax, but otherwise it's true.
Well, we came to Spirit Lake and Grace Lutheran in 1962. And I remember one incident, it was the first winter we were here, I think, they had a couples group. And they had get-togethers, and we were at a toboggan party at the Berquist residence. And as some of you know, where they lived, you could start at the house and get on a toboggan and end up in the lake. And so Doreen and I were there and riding the toboggan, and somehow or other Doreen got an injury or fell off the toboggan or whatever happened. But anyway, after that, we had to see the chiropractor. So we remember that experience with the group from Grace Lutheran.
Oh.
We were also remember some of the experiences. I was chairman of the building committee in 1968, and I think there's only about 2 of that building committee that are still around. But the wives of Bob Berquist and Bob Betcher were members of the committee. But we had Doc Sabatson, we had Norman Larson, and I can't remember, Bob Sneitzer was one of the members. So it's been about 50 years ago, and we had a pretty active committee, building committee, and had a lot of decisions to make, and I think we hope we made the right decisions, and after that building being there 50 years, we hope it lasts another 50 years. So it's been a good experience.
Thanks, Ken.
I got one more thing to say. You might remember several years ago, the Catholic Church apologized for the Crusades, and right after that, the Lutheran Church apologized for Tim Whitnall.
You know he's right behind you, Jim.
Well, I wasn't planning on saying anything either. I remember when I
That's
came
a switch.
here in 74, yes it is. In 74, there was no concrete out here. It was just a gravel road running in, and the whole east part of the church was just a big yard with 2 trees in, and if you weren't careful, you backed into a tree. And back then we had bumpers so you could get by with it. We used to play football after confirmation out there. So I remember when we did all the concreting and everything. My big problem, a lot of you maybe wouldn't have known this, but there are people who are good at names, and there's people who are good at faces. I've never been good at either. I'm better at places. So the way to get around that was whenever somebody joined the church, I always visited them in their homes. And then when Mary said, "Do you remember so-and-so?" I'd say, "Tell me where they live." And I could picture where they live, and then I could remember who they were. Now I was good at members, whose visitors gave me more trouble. But even to this day, I still remember Jesus. I just didn't come to my mind. But see, I never visited him in his home.
Anybody else? Jim, you brought up the parking lot, so I got to tell another story. We were sitting here a week ago looking at that picture. Brandon was here and I was here. Deb was here. And we were arguing about how that picture was facing. And I think I'm right, that's looking east. And then I look back at it and you bring up the trees. There's a telephone pole back there too. And I made the comment then. I says, yeah, that's the telephone pole. My mother hit it at least once. Maybe even the tree, I don't know. But I remember the pole.
Was there a basket for basketball on that pole?
There probably was at one time. I think you're right.
I remember that.
Yeah. Yep. Anybody else?